Oh, it's just a very comfortable bike to ride.
What's up, e-bike fans? In this video, we're going to be doing a full review on the Espin Flow. This is a 500 watt nominal powered motor with 800 peak power on it. And let's start from the back of the bike here, and we'll go ahead and walk our way through. It does start first with an integrated rear light, which means when you do grab the brake, the rear light will pop on. Also, when we have the headlight on, it'll maintain its light, and as well the brake light still works and brightens up as we hit the brakes on that point. Next, we have actually the tires here. These are 27.5 inch by 2 inch tires, so they're actually fantastic for road commuting. The size of these tires actually really help give a smooth ride as we're going along. The width of the tire is just wide enough to go ahead and give really good traction. Also, it's not so fat that it actually holds you back and gives a lot of drag, so it makes the bike ride really smoothly. It's a fantastic ride. Feels really, really good. I was really excited to go ahead and get opportunity to review this bike. As we move actually closer toward in the rear area of the drivetrain here, we have an 8-speed gearing, which is a 13 by 32 tooth derailleur. This is an RDM310. I honestly don't know the brand of this shifter. I can tell you that it actually shifts very smoothly. It's really, really easy to do it. I'll show you a little later in the front. We have a double shifter for it when we get to the handlebar. With that, moving even a little further close to the front, these are standard pedals. Nothing really special about it. They do a great job holding your feet in place. We have a 170 millimeter crank here with a 45 tooth chainring and a chain guard, which is aluminum, I believe here. It is metal. It's not a dual side, but we haven't had any problems with the chain popping off when we're riding. So it just worked really good. This is actually, I would say, the perfect commuter bike. So most of the time people will not be taking it on areas that are going to be hopping all over the place and the chain will be bouncing. You might not be able to see it on camera, but there is a slap guard here. So it does protect the frame from actually hitting. It's a really clear piece of, looks like adhesive that was put here. So this is a class 2. I do not know if it can be unlocked to go any faster, but to be quite honest, 20 miles an hour is actually very, very decent for this bike. And it does really give a good front starting torque power when you're actually starting off. So at 65 Newton meters is what we actually get out of this motor. Again, it does put up to 800 watts of peak, but that first even 500 that you're going to be just maintaining your cruising speed at is absolutely perfect. This seat that we have, we'll move a little closer. Oh, I would like to mention also this rack does come included with it, as well as these plastic fenders in the back. And of course, this seat does have a quick release, so you can easily adjust it up and down. It is a very decent seat. I mean, it's not maybe an ultra comfort wide seat, but it is a very acceptable seat for what comes with it. I don't think most people will need to replace it, depending on how maybe comfortable you are with longer rides. You might want to replace it, but other than that, it is perfect just the way it is. I honestly will not be replacing the seat. There's no reason for me to do that. It does have a 30 millimeters post, which if you're interested in actually getting a suspension seat post, there are brands out there that will add it, because it does not have rear suspension, but it does have front suspension. So for a price that this bike comes in, that is actually a really good value to have front suspension on a bike like this. With, looking at it from the top here, it actually has even lockouts. So if you wanted to stiffen up the ride, if you're going to be going up hills and you need to be doing some pedaling and you want to make it stiffer, you can just lock it like that and it won't go down. Whereas leaving it here, you can actually see the shocks actually go up and down. And at 100 millimeters, that's a really good range for a shock to be able to travel, 100 millimeters. And I honestly thought I had maybe the tire pressure a little too low when I first started riding this bike, then realizing it was just absorbing all of the front shock absorption of the road or the speed bumps that I was going over. So it works really well, because I pumped up these tires up to 50 psi last night, which is the max of 65 where it can hold. I didn't want it to be super solid, but I wanted it to be very sturdy, and at 50 psi I wasn't feeling hardly anything because of the nice work that it was being done by the front shocks there. So actually, let's go to the center frame here on the battery. This battery is a 48 volt, which is typically industry standard for a lot of the bikes at a 500 watt range. It's a good size battery at 13.6 amp hours, not exceptionally huge, but Espin is claiming that you'll get between 30 to 50 miles on a charge, which is really awesome. So of course that will depend on the size of the rider, the weight of the rider, and how you ride, how much you're throttling versus how much you're helping the bike with your pedaling. 30 miles at the minimum side of it, all the way up to 50, you're going to get a lot of riding out of each charge that you're coming on here. It takes about 6 hours to charge up the battery. To be honest, this pricing is really good. And another reason why I'm saying that of the value, as we move a little more forward toward this, here's some extra things you get at that price. But we have an adjustable neck where you can go ahead and bring it a lot forward. There's actually your angle degrees here. So if you need a little more reach, you can move it forward and it'll actually be something that you can get more reach out of it. I like to have a lot more of an upright position. My friend John, which you'll see some footage of him riding, you'll see that at his height, at 6 feet, he actually has no problem having a very nice upright position as well. And I'll have to give a little commentary a little later about what he thought of the ride that he got out of this too. These brake levers are hydraulic. They have left and right zoom hydraulic brakes, are exceptionally soft to the touch, so that you don't have to put a lot of pressure for the brakes to start grabbing and slowing you down on your trails or on your ride. We do also have a dual paddle shifter here on the handlebar. As you can see, this is also a little on the higher end of a shifting type mechanism. A lot of other bikes have this upper shifter that's up here where you have to move your thumb over. These paddle shifters add a little more safety. If you happen to have to stop quickly, your thumb is in a position to maintain you stopping or keeping you from falling over your handlebars. For those of you who are not used to shifting this way, it is one step at a time, and it actually does really help keep control of exactly where you want to step from one gear to the next, up and down. So to go to higher gears, you just go ahead and push under here, one up, and then to go back one down to a lower gear, one down there, and so you can go up and down on your steps there. It is a very comfortable shifter. This display that we have here, hit the power button, holding it a few seconds, is a very nice display, very clear. And when we actually turn on the headlight, it dims. By turning off the headlight, then it actually brightens up. So that's a very nice feature as well, because you don't want it glaring at you when you're riding in darker areas when you have your headlight on. So you have your battery indicator here. Not a lot of extra additional type of digital features, but you know, it has everything you really want. By clicking your mode button, we have the average mile per hour speed that we've been traveling at, and then we also have our max speed that this bike had gotten up to at 25 miles an hour, and your current speed as well. You have your pedal assist levels here, going 1 and going 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you have 5 different levels that actually are different ranges that are I'd say very comfortable, going from one to the next. And of course your odometer on the bottom here, which is also a trip meter. Here we have left side thumb throttle. This being pushed here. The bike is on, so let me go ahead and just lift this back tire a little, and we're going to go ahead and push the throttle, which then makes your tire move forward. And we also have, if I'm going to lean this bike a little off the ground, if we hold the minus button down, we have an automatic walk mode. And one thing that's really interesting about this one, which I don't see on very many other bikes, is when you let go, it actually stops it, where you don't have to hit the brake. A lot of other ones that once you hit it, it'll just keep on going and keeps them maintaining a certain speed. So that's really nice. You can kind of push it and stop it. But that's to help you walk the bike if you need to go ahead and do that. Let's move a little more toward the front here, just to say that we have our integrated headlight on there, and the fender is actually, or did come not assembled as part of it, but it did come with the bike, so all you had to do was put it on and assemble it. Well, what I thought was really interesting about this, which not a lot of other fenders that I've installed before, it has an adjuster here. I had fender rub right off the start when I had this installed, and with this easy adjuster you can loosen it, push it in and out, and that way you can adjust the fender to be straight, where some of the other bikes that I've actually had to install in the past, The way you put the fender on is you kind of hope and pray that it actually is centered and you don't have any other issues like that. So that's very nice. If you take a look at this side as well of the wheel, we also have a quick release here. So you can remove the front wheel if you need to go in and store it or pack it away really quickly. And we also have, by looking on this side here, a 180 millimeter rotor in the front for stopping power. And of course our hydraulic brakes here, which do a fantastic job stopping us. Again, these are Zoom brand hydraulic brakes. And on the back rear side here, we also do have another 180. So both of them are 180 millimeter rotors, front and back. We have also a battery indicator here, if you can see that there. One other thing is that it also has a USB port right under here. So we have this where if you need to charge your phone while riding, you can do that. So they've thought of a lot of the little features that are really nice, and you can charge the bike with the battery installed. Just plug it in the garage with a charger going in here, or if you want to, you can actually pop out the battery, turn the key, the battery pops out, and you can just take the battery in the house to go ahead and charge in the house. Another big point that I really want to mention about this bike is that it is a step through, and this is one of the types of frames that I really look forward to getting on any bike that I test, because I like to travel with stuff on the back of my bikes, whether it be a bag or a basket, and it always is a lot more difficult to get my leg over if you have something protruding over the backside. To be able to have stuff on the back, not worry about it, and just step through here is just a lot better as far as safety. If you need to get off, you don't have to lean the bike so far over, and when you want to get back on, you can get on quickly and be on your way. The other thing is that with the step through, the standover height is so low that you don't have to worry about being uncomfortable.
Hi, I'm John, and I was lucky enough to go riding with Chris today. I really enjoy these things. I have a little different body style than Chris. I'm quite a bit heavier, a little bit taller, and considerably older. So the first thing I'd like to point out is, while I did not find the seat a real problem, I'm in a habit of switching to a comfy seat right away. And after about an hour on it, I'm thinking, yeah, I could do that. So that would be about the only thing I'd change on the bike. I noticed the color right away. I thought the color was great on the bike. It's a real good rider too, which I enjoyed. Our first ride was into the wind, which is why I have a wind jacket on now. But it held up very nicely, quite stable. And the tires, I'm used to a fat tire bike, and quite frankly, it was a pleasure riding something that wasn't a fat tire bike. And these really did an excellent job. It's the first time I've had the pleasure of riding a bike with hydraulic brakes. And can I feel the difference? Chris was right about one thing. There's a couple of firsts here. I've never seen a shifter like this. I didn't see the other shifter at first. Now Chris pointed it out. I thought that was a throttle. Well, it's not only a shifter, it's an excellent shifter. I think that I was most impressed with the way that the gears were finished off in the back, and that type of workmanship seems to have followed all the way up to the front. This thing was very, very nice shifter. I got used to it immediately. There's no learning curve on that. Now, this is also the first time I've used a thumb throttle, particularly on the left side. And I've been concerned about that because I ride motorcycles, and of course there are no left throttles on motorcycles that I'm aware of. And I thought, okay, this is going to take a few minutes to get used to, and it did, but it's very light. I didn't think it would be this light. I thought, okay, my thumb's going to start hurting after a while. That wasn't the case at all. Acceleration was very nice. I don't know, it's just a very comfortable bike to ride. It has the feel of a bike that I could really do 25, 30 miles on, going to work or something, and not be griping about it when I got to work. It's nice. I also noticed that this rack looks extremely stable. That's my quickie on the bike. Oh, I'd like to mention, I also approve of the plastic fenders. It used to be a day where plastic, oh, you didn't want that on your bike, but now, if you rack it up against something, the fender just pops back the way it is. There's no dents in it. It always seems to look good, and I appreciate them trying to get the bike a little lighter. It's certainly not the heaviest bike, and I'm not sure it's the lightest one either, but it's adequate. I can get this into the truck. Really starting to get into the bikes without the bar. My personal bike has a bar, and I put a little luggage on the back. I can't hardly get my leg over it. I have arthritis pretty bad, and this makes it so much more convenient for me to lift my leg and get it in there. I just can't tell you. I'm probably going to have a bike this style from now on, or with the low bar, because it works better for me at my age.
If you liked this video and you like this review, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys so much for all your support, and I will see you guys in the next video.